Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over all of the books that I read in the month of March. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to let you know that I read more than one book, which is great. Actually, I'm going to move this down a little bit because why is my head so low? I don't know. Okay, technically one of these was finished in February, but it was on my March TBR. I just was already almost done with it, so technically I finished it in February. But that is Assistant to the Villain, and this is by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I love this book. It was great. It was really cute and kind of silly goofy while also dabbling in some darker themes. I have the second book already, and I will be reading that, which is Apprentice to the Villain, and I'm pretty sure there's a third one too, but I don't have that, and I don't want to buy it until I read the second one because I tend to get ahead of myself a little bit. But I did really enjoy this. I think this is a solid 4-star. I don't quite think it's a 5-star. I really enjoyed it, would definitely recommend it, but it didn't quite give me 5-star feels. Really, 5 stars is like a vibe. You have to give me a certain vibe to get there. But solid 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. If you don't know what this book is about, it is about a young woman who is hard on her luck. She needs a job, and one day when she's walking in the woods, she runs into a person who is known as the villain, and he offers her a job. And he is like a villain, but not in the sense that all the townspeople think, because he's never actually done anything to hurt the townspeople. He just has like a personal vendetta. So yeah. Also, the main character, what is her name? Ellie? Something like that? I don't remember. Evie. She definitely has ADHD. Evie's for sure got ADHD, which is just, it was really funny to read and relatable in a lot of ways. It's cute. The second book that I read was the second book in the Bridgerton series, and this is The Viscount Who Loved Me. I liked this better than the first one, but I still liked the show better. I just think, I don't know. The writing is okay. And I gave the first one a 3.5 star, and I don't know why I did that. I should have just given it a 3-star. This one is probably more like a 3.5 star, not quite a 4-star. I feel like the writing is better in this one, but still it's pretty basic. It's not like anything incredible. I just don't like the characters as much in the books as I do in the show. I think the characters in the show are better written and more dynamic and more interesting. Yeah. I don't really have much to say about this. I feel like everybody knows what this series is about. In case you don't, Bridgerton is a series where every book follows a different sibling in the Bridgerton family. There's a crap ton of them. There's I don't know, 6 or 7 siblings. 7, maybe. 3, 6. 7. There's 7. Oh my god. But there's a lot of them. And this one follows the oldest son, Anthony. They say Anthony in the show, but his name is Anthony. I don't know. Anthony sounds better. Yeah. It was okay. I'm not going to keep going on about that. You guys know what that's about. Next is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I enjoyed this. Okay, look, I enjoyed it. I hated the ending. I hated the ending. The ending didn't make any sense. it didn't make any sense at all. And what she, okay, so this book is about a woman who finds out that her husband has been having an affair, and they had an anniversary trip planned to go to London, and she ends up going on the trip by herself. And during this trip, she ends up using this trip as like a way to rediscover herself, because she sacrificed a lot of her joy and interests and personality for her relationship. And she has a degree in, I don't know, history or something. Yeah, I think she has a history degree. And she never did anything with it because of her marriage. She finds a vial, like an apothecary vial, in the river, and then decides to spend her entire vacation researching this vial, and then comes across this mystery about this string of like apothecary murders. And she solves everything, she does all the things, and then at the end of the book she does something really dumb that just doesn't make any sense for her to do. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about it, because I don't want to like spoil the ending, but it's just there's part of the ending that I like, but then the thing I don't like about the ending just overshadows that entirely, because it was just so nonsensical. Her as a historian and a researcher, especially based on like the big fuss that she was making about not wanting to disturb a historical site like earlier on in the book, what she does at the end makes zero sense. And I was going to say before that I understood where the author was trying to go with that, but like I don't, because it's just, honestly, it's dumb. But the rest of the book I enjoyed. So I gave this book 4 stars. Next is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. And this book was okay. I know that this is an extremely popular book. I gave this 3 stars. I was about halfway through this book and I was struggling. I was considering DNFing the book. It did get a little bit better, and I'm glad I finished it. I have the second book. I won't be reading it anytime soon. There's one character in this book, one singular character, and he's like a side character that piques my interest enough that I feel like eventually I will read the second book, because I want to see if they like delve further into this character. But I don't like the main character. I'm not really a fan of her. And also at least the first third of this book, the way that it's written felt a little, I don't even really know how to describe it. It just felt off to me. This book is very much so like centered around diversity and the experiences of those who are in like diverse groups, that are in like disenfranchised groups and minority groups, and them kind of like coming together and creating this like found family situation, and also people with queer identities, and there is a queer relationship, kind of it more so at like the end. But as I was reading this, the first third of this book, it just felt, something about it was just so off, the way that it was written. And like, I had to look up the author. I was like, is this author writing any of this from a standpoint of experience? And the answer is no. The answer is no. This book is written by a straight white man, and that's fine. It's fine. It's just, I feel like him not personally having any experience in any of those realms makes the first portion of this book weird. It just, I don't know. I struggled through the first part of the book. In the end, it was okay. It was alright. I don't really know what else to say about this. This is about an orc who, you know, for most of their life does orc things. And then she decides that she wants to live a quiet, simple life. And she discovers coffee and then wants to bring it to the masses, kind of. She just wants to open her own coffee shop. And so she does. And it's a cozy fantasy, low stakes cozy fantasy, which I think part of why I gave this book 3 stars was because I don't think that genre is for me. But a big part of why I gave the book 3 stars is because of the beginning and struggling through it. But in the end, it was all right. So there we go. Not much to say about that. I guess I don't know. Was that a lot to say about that? Who knows? Okay. The 5th book that I finished off of my March TBR, you guys, I finished 5 books off of my March TBR. I'm so proud of myself. I can't even. Was the, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book 4 stars. It didn't quite give me 5-star vibes, and this is a good example of, I've talked about this before, where a lot of times when a plot is predictable to me, it makes the book less enjoyable. I felt like the plot was very predictable to me, but it did not lessen my enjoyment. I still really enjoyed the book. I feel like some of the parts were really cheesy, and I wasn't a fan of the ending. I feel like endings of books really make or break them for me. And I was not a fan of the ending. I prefer a little more closure. Like, I don't need everything tied up in a neat little bow, but I prefer a little more closure than what the ending of this book gave. So, I don't know. It was good. It was spooky. I was telling my husband about this book as I was reading it, and because so they use a lot of Spanish words in here. Obviously, this book is taking place post Civil War in Mexico, and it's about a young woman whose father was a rebel fighter, but he was taken by the people whose side he was on, and they called him a traitor, and then they killed him. And then that kind of leaves her and her mom, the main character, her and her mom, like, destitute, and they're forced to move in with her uncle and her aunt, and they're really awful to them. So she thinks that the only way to get out of the situation, or the best way to get out of the situation, is to, like, marry the first rich man that she can. And she ends up marrying a man who is very much so entwined in the government, the new government, and the people who killed her father. And so this kind of, like, creates a rift between her and her mom. And she ends up moving to his property. And the property is haunted. That's not a spoiler. The property is haunted. And that's what happens. I don't really know what else to say that wouldn't be a spoiler. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like there was never any reason given as to why her father was killed. It felt kind of convenient. But anyway, that's not the point. I just thought I'd tell you guys what it's about real quick. But my husband, I asked him what some, like, there's a lot of Spanish words in here. So I was asking him what a lot of them meant, because his first language is Spanish. And then I sent him this part in the book where one of the characters, so this is dual POV between the main character and then a priest. And the priest is, like, it's his POV. And he starts talking about La Llorona, but he calls her the Weeper, and like obviously I knew what he was talking about, but I showed it to my husband because I thought it was kind of funny that they called her the Weeper and they didn't just use the Spanish name. And he was so confused. He's like, why didn't they just call her La Llorona? Like, why did they call her the Weeper? There's so many other Spanish words in this book, and so many people are already familiar with the story, like with the folktale, or I mean, perhaps not a folktale, that it just didn't make any sense to him why they would, like, why the author would do that and not just put the Spanish name. I just thought it was kind of funny and weird too, because he's right. Like, there are so many other Spanish words in here that it felt strange. So it's not really a gripe with the book. It's just kind of a funny thing. Like, I don't know why they did that, but anyway, 4 stars. It was a good read. Now, I have not finished this book, but I did read more of it. This is Skene Island by Elia Whitley, and I am 4 chapters in, about 50 pages. This, I don't know what is going on here. I don't know what to expect. So I feel like if I tell you what's happened so far, that's not really a spoiler. That's like the first 50 pages. It's fine, right? Yeah. So essentially this book is about an island that was created by a woman. Well, the island wasn't. There's a resort on the island that was created by this woman. And she created this island to be women only. And there's no payment to stay on the island, but you have to submit like an application. And then once you're approved, you can come to the island for 1 week at a time, anytime you want, like once. You can come once, but you get to pick when you go. And you get access to all of the amenities and everything. It's a resort. And the only thing that you have to do is you have to submit like a story of your life or something like that, and as like the payment. And the main character's mother had gone to this island when she was like, when the main character was a teenager, and her mom never came back. She didn't like go missing as far as the main character's aware. I don't know. It feels a little sketchy to me. But she never saw her mom again. She never spoke to her mom again. Her mom apparently started sending postcards from this other town, but like there was never an address on it. It was just stamped on the postmark, so she knew which town it was coming from. So she is under the assumption that her mom is like alive and well in this town. She just like abandoned her family. But then she gets a letter from the woman who created this island, giving her a personal invitation to come, even though she never applied. But the weird thing is that the woman who created the island is now dead. So how'd that happen, right? And she has an incident where a man comes into her workplace and tries to assault her. Nothing ends up happening, but she goes and makes a police report. And then like her husband is like really weird about it. He has a POV after that, and he's like sitting there hoping and wishing that she'll like break down in hysterics so that he has the opportunity to comfort her, and like hoping that her breaking down in hysterics and him comforting her brings their relationship closer. He's weird. He's thrown up, I've only read 4 chapters and he's thrown up red flags all over the place. But the day after that happens, she leaves for the island without any warning. She just leaves a note saying, I've gone to Skene Island, and she goes. And she doesn't really know why she went. She just kind of wants to find out why she was invited when they don't send out invitations like that, and like how a dead woman sent her an invitation. I think she also kind of wants to learn about her mother's experience on the island and maybe find out what happened there that caused her like to decide to never come back. I have no idea where this is going. Literally can't tell you. No idea. So we'll see about this. I think I might roll this in to the next one. To just see, because I don't know. I don't even know what genre this is. Is this like a thriller? I don't even know. Yeah, couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. So that's everything that I read in the month of March. Now, these are the 3 from my March TBR that I did not touch. We've got The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, and The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. And those 3 will be going back into the seasonal TBR stack. But yeah, I read 5 books in March, you guys. Crazy. No 5 stars. Actually, no 5 stars. I was like, did I give that one? No, I gave it a 4. Okay. No 5 stars, but I feel like we got a lot of 4s, which is great. 3 4s and 2 3s. That's not bad. That's not bad. So that is everything that I read. And I'm going to go now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.